All right, let's get into it. When we think about champagne, our minds usually jump straight to celebrations, right? To that special bottle of sparkling wine. But what if I told you the real story isn't just about the bubbles? It's actually about a very, very specific place on a map.
I mean, we all know the look. That classic bottle, the sound of the cork popping, all those festive bubbles. It's basically the universal sign for something good is happening.
But here's the thing. Beyond all that fizz, there's a whole story. It's a story about soil, a story about a unique climate, and a piece of land so special it's literally protected by law. And that's the story we're going to uncork today. And this gets us to the single most important thing to understand. Champagne isn't just a way of making wine. It's a place, a legally defined, fiercely protected piece of France. The whole system that protects it is called the Appellation de Région Contrôlée, or AOC for short. Now, just think of the AOC as a promise. It's a guarantee on the bottle that what you're drinking comes from this one spot on Earth and absolutely nowhere else.
And that one spot? It's right here. It's a pretty compact wine region, just about 90 miles east of Paris. This is it. This is the only place on the entire planet that can legally call its sparkling wine champagne. It's 100% French, period.
And trust me, the French do not mess around with this. They're so serious that back in 1927, they actually passed legislation that drew the exact lines on the map. It defined the official boundaries for growing champagne grapes, and it includes exactly 319 villages. Not 318, not 320, 319. So you have to wonder, what makes this little patch of land so special that it needs its own law? Well, it all comes down to one single, almost mythical word in the wine world: terroir. Terroir is basically the unique thumbprint of a place. It's everything. It's the soil, it's the weather, it's how the hills slope. It's the whole environmental recipe that gives a wine its soul, and you can literally taste it in the glass. So let's break down Champagne's recipe. First up, the climate. The region sits way up north on the 49th parallel. I mean, this is the knife's edge of where you can even grow grapes. It's a struggle for them to ripen, but that struggle is a good thing. It means the grapes hold on to a ton of acidity, which is the secret weapon for making crisp, mouth-watering sparkling wine. Okay, factor number 2 is maybe the most famous part of the story, and it's what's under the ground. We're talking about a massive bed of chalk. And get this, it's what was left behind by an ancient ocean that covered this area 70 million years ago. This isn't just soil, it's the fossilized remains of tiny sea creatures. So why does this ancient seabed matter so much? Well, this chalk is like a superhero for the vines. It provides amazing drainage so the roots don't get waterlogged. But it's also like a sponge, holding onto water deep down for the vines to sip on during dry spells. Plus, it absorbs heat during the day and reflects sunlight back up onto the grapes. All of that is what gives champagne its signature lightness, its minerality, that finesse. Now, the Champagne region itself isn't just one big uniform place. Think of it more like a city with different neighborhoods. It's a collection of 5 distinct subregions, and each one brings its own unique personality to the table. Okay, these are the big 3, the main players. First, you've got the Montagne de Reims, which is Pinot Noir country. This is where the wine gets its power and structure. Then there's the Vallée de la Marne, which is famous for the Pinot Meunier grape. That gives the wine a really lovely, fruity, easy drinking quality. And finally, the Côtes Blancs, which literally means slope of the whites, is all about Chardonnay. This is where that finesse and elegance comes from. And just to complete our little tour, there are 2 other key areas. The Côte des Cévennes, you can think of it as the warmer southern cousin of the Côte des Blancs, so its Chardonnay is a bit softer and rounder. And then way down south is the Côte des Bar, which is a warmer spot that's becoming really famous for its super ripe, fruit-forward Pinot Noir. So we've got the place, we've got the soil, we've got the different neighborhoods. Now let's meet the main characters in our story, the grapes themselves. It's actually a pretty small cast, but a really powerful one. You have one white grape, Chardonnay, which brings all that crisp acidity, elegance, and the potential for the wine to age for years. And then you have 2 black grapes, Pinot Noir and Pinot Meunier. Now, even though their skins are dark, the juice is white. They're what give the wine its body, its structure, and those delicious red fruit flavors. And this is where it all comes together. See, the true genius of champagne isn't found in just one perfect vineyard or one perfect grape. It's in the incredible art of blending all these different pieces into one single harmonious whole. And check out this number. There are roughly 280,000 separate individual vineyard plots in Champagne. Think about that. It's like a giant puzzle. Some of these plots are no bigger than a backyard. It just goes to show you the insane level of diversity winemakers get to play with. Of course, none of this happened overnight. For hundreds of years, Champagne was actually known for its still red and white wines. It wasn't until the 1600s that winemakers really started to figure out how to master those bubbles. And then came the game-changing moment in 1927, when the AOC was created, protecting this unique heritage for all time. So you see, the whole process is a true art form. The winemaker grows grapes from all those different little plots, each with its own character. They select the best ones from each region, and then they blend. They combine all these different wines, like a painter mixing colors, to create a final champagne that is so much more complex and beautiful than any one of its parts could be on its own. You know, there's this great quote from a geographer, Dr. Raphael Schirmer, that I think just says it all. A whole civilization goes into the cultivation of vines. It's so true. This isn't just about farming. It's about culture. It's about centuries of history. It's about generations of people working with this one specific piece of land. Which really leaves us with one final question. The next time you pour a glass of champagne and you hear that pop and see those bubbles, remember what's actually in your glass. It's not just wine. It's the cool northern climate, its 70-million-year-old ocean floor, and its centuries of history all blended together. What part of that story are you going to taste?